and welcome to part 2 of our show tonight on the Frankie and Ding Dong Show. Normally your Fridays with Frankie segment. I am your host, Frankie Averlon, and here is my best friend and co-host, King Ding Dong.
Tonight's like the double fried egg night. So you got double the fry with Frankie. And also, it's a great information coming to you, has already come to you. And I got to tell you, some very amazing information coming to you guys. If you guys know any children that might be heading out to Indianapolis this year, make sure you share this up on your pages. They are going to want to have this information, even if you can't be with us live.
Yes.
Share it later. But if you can be with us live, we are going to have the man in person to talk to if you have questions. Go ahead and bring them on this interactive show. Frankie's here. Yep. King Ding Dong's here. We're going to be here bringing you some great information for some tournament. So,
absolutely. Yeah. And we have from juniorbowling.com, the man who is, when it comes to, he does a great job with junior events. When my daughter's gone out and bowled this tournament, every year that she was out at Junior Gold, the DV8 Bowl4Life Shootout, Travis Sparks, we're going to bring him into the studio now. The man, the myth, the legend, Travis Sparks. Welcome to the Frankie and Ding Dong Show. We are honored to have you on with us tonight.
Hang on, let me clear the air. Let me see if I can see you through all the smoke between here and Maine.
I know, it's bad, right?
Yeah.
It was worse earlier in the week, but cleared out a little bit really nicely today. And the ironic thing is, 2 weeks ago, I was up in Halifax. I was up on a cruise up there before everything started. So I'm glad I hit up there before all the bad stuff started coming down from Canada. But yeah, great to be with you guys. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. It was great for you to reach out to us. And obviously you do a wonderful job out there at Junior Gold with the DV8 Bowl4Life Shootout. Can you tell us how long you've been doing this, how this kind of came about, and where your passion comes from for this junior bowling stuff?
Gladly. Let me go all the way back to 1985, and I bring this up because my father, he asked me the most important question ever, and that is, do you want to go bowling again? And tomorrow is 1 year since he passed away. So this is an emotional weekend for me. I'm originally from Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. I'm taking my twin daughters up. We're going to celebrate his life once again this weekend. But he got me started, as well as my church back in Wilkes-Barre. Took all his altar boys to bowl instead of having an altar boy practice on Saturday morning. And then later that year, I joined the league at Stanton Lanes. And a couple of years later, I was asked to be one of the administrators, to actually be secretary of the prep division. And that's where my administrative love began for our sport. And then I got hired by Stanton Lanes 92. And the year after that, I was asked to be the secretary of the entire league. And I got bit by the tournament bug, even though I had just graduated high school from GAR High School. And my high school and college didn't have bowling, but we still had pretty good junior bowling programs in Northeastern PA. And I ran a tournament on my own over Christmas, and it had pretty good turnout. And I thought, okay, this could be the start of something. Then I was asked by the center to run the Pro-Am for the 1994 senior PBA tournament that came to Wilkes-Barre. And then I started my own series, which became juniorbowling.com in 95. Yep. For the next dozen years, my tournaments were primarily in Northeastern and North Central Pennsylvania, because JBT was still in existence. Chuck would go to areas like Allentown and Harrisburg and Lancaster. So I pretty much let him have that area. And then Matt Himmelreich started the PJBT in 1999 in South Central PA in Reading. And he's originally from Reading. And then he expanded to Harrisburg and Lancaster and the Lehigh Valley. We joined forces in 2003. We still kept our series separate, but he asked me to come aboard and be his assistant director for events that didn't conflict with mine. And then a couple of years later, I ended my events and started helping him full time to a point where we were running 50 events a year.
Yeah,
It seemed
wow.
like we averaged one every week. I'm going to backtrack a little bit here. 1999, a center in Williamsport, North Central PA, Faxon Lanes had a grand reopening, and they invited Parker Bone III, and that was the first time I met him, and he was wonderful to all the kids that were at that event. And a couple of years later, Matt started having Parker at his championship weekend. And it's a tradition that continues 22 years later today. In fact, it just happened this past weekend. And it was right around 2004 when Matt, Chuck Pisano, and me, we put our heads together along with a couple other tournament directors, and we started what was known as the BEST tournament, the Bowlers of Eastern Scholarships tournament, which ran, that started 2004. It was like an East Coast version of a warm-up for Junior Gold. Mm-hmm. And that kind of planted the seed for the thoughts, okay, we have this warm-up that's like a month out from Junior Gold, but we don't really have anything out at Junior Gold for kids to bowl because the Youth Open hadn't been created yet. Mm-hmm. And I remember this day like it was yesterday. It was day before Father's Day, 2006. It was the weekend of the BEST tournament, which it was in Maple Shade, New Jersey. You know, it was about an hour and a half away from Howell, New Jersey, where Parker lives. Mm-hmm. And they were also having a regional at Howell. And his brother-in-law, Doug Kent, was there, and a couple other PBA pros. So after we got done with the tournament on Saturday, we headed up to Parker's. And we're on his back porch. This is back when Justin and Brandon are both in diapers running around the back porch. And Parker, Doug, me, Matt, my current wife, Jen, she's Jen Elker back then, Jen Sparks now, because she was bowling at BEST. She came with us, and also Carrie Smith, who's out on the PWBA tour. She came with us. And I remember John Wilcox was there too, the USBC Hall of Famer, because he used to own a center in Mifflinburg, PA, and he was running lands for the PBA at the time. And he was a good buddy of mine too. We all put our heads together and thought, what if we do a warm-up tournament right before Junior Gold? And that's where we came up with the idea of doing 6 games, 2 games on a short pattern, 2 games on a medium pattern, and 2 games on a long pattern. And Doug offered his center up because Junior Gold in 07 was in Buffalo, and Doug's center is in Newark, New York, which is a little east of Rochester. And it was about a 90-minute drive on the throughway from Buffalo. And we thought, all right, if we can vote this well ahead of time, let's give this a shot, and we'll award some nice scholarship money. So we ran it the first year, right before Junior Gold. This is back when it was Junior Gold was 1 week. Everyone had to be there on Saturday. There was 1 practice session on Sunday, and then everybody started bowling on Monday. Well, we ran our tournament the Friday and Saturday prior, and over 5 squads, we got 243 entries. We were thrilled. Wow. It was a great turnout, and we.
Oops, I think we lost Travis. Oh, we're gonna try to get Travis back for you guys.
Yeah.
I'll try to send him the invite again. I think he lost his feed.
Yeah, hopefully we can get him back in there. But it's exciting to hear the history of how he's getting the DV8 shootout started. I know that enlisted in his flyer, it said that they've given away more than $250,000 since 2007. Frankie, that's absolutely incredible.
Oh, here we go. We got Travis back. Oh no, we lost him again. Thought we had him.
So yeah, and just talking a little bit more about it this year. There's going to be 6 different squads. They're actually running prior to and after Junior Gold this year. 6 different squads, and also 8 different divisions. 4 different age ranges, and 1 division in each age range for boys as well as girls. Very good. So there's going to be 8 different champions. And as Travis said, it's 2 games on short, 2 games on medium, and 2 games on long. It's a perfect warm-up for Junior Gold.
Absolutely. And we got Travis back. Travis, can you hear us okay?
Yeah, the smoke got in the way again. So
no worries. That's fine. It happens.
Must have been a blip somewhere. I'm trying to remember where I left off. 2007.
43 entries for that tournament is what you were.
Yes, and I remember Doug Kent calling Parker at one time and said, "Hey, this place is full. I'm thrilled with this," and it was a great first impression. So the following year, they were up in Metro Detroit for Junior Gold in '08. So I called, I saw the bowling centers that they were using, and to my surprise, there was an 80-lane center that wasn't being used. So I called Imperial Lanes, and they said, yeah, we'll host you. And it was July 4th and 5th of 2008. Now, the one thing I didn't check up on, the two things I actually didn't check up on. Number one, if the snack bar would be open for both days, being that it was 4th of July, it wasn't. And that Friday, Doug brought Jacob Kent, and Chrissy Kent was along too, and they were grilling burgers in the parking lot on 4th of July to feed all the bowlers that they brought from Rochester.
Children are always hungry. That's for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. And one other thing I didn't bank on was I forgot to ask, hey, are all 80 lanes available? Because they had 20 down for maintenance, so we only had 60 lanes to use.
Okay.
Well, that was my big mistake, because back then on Saturday night, right after check-in, there was nothing for bowlers to do. So guess where they came? All to my event. I think the last squad was supposed to start at 7. I always thought the squad started at 7:45, and everybody who helps me said, no, the squad started at 8:30. Like, okay, by the time we got everybody checked in, there were 243 people for one squad.
Yikes. Wow.
For 60 lanes.
Yep.
The last ball was thrown at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yep.
And if some bowlers hadn't gotten out of line to leave, we would have broken 500 total for the event. We had 499.
Wow.
And it was a great success. We didn't get home till 3 o'clock that morning, back to the hotel, but we knew this was the start of something good. In fact, the young man who shot 276 at 1 o'clock in the morning, Kyle Weedman from Indianapolis, he ended up winning that year. And the first year, it was John Cherbinsky, who was out on tour for a while a couple of years ago, and Chuck Pisano's daughter, Mandy, ended up winning that first year. Then over, I think, 3 of the next 4 years, we were in Indianapolis. It kind of hit a lull. We averaged about 300, 330 entries. It was good, but Matt thought we could use a little extra kick. So that's when we started our relationship with DV8. We approached Brunswick and talked to Parker and say, hey, why don't we offer a bowling ball as well? And it ended up being the perfect timing, because DV8 was only 2 years old. I mean, They were established in 11, and 2013, that was the first year we added the ball to the equation. And my first hesitancy was, okay, we're going from a $40 entry to a $99 entry. I wonder how we're going to do. Well, we did better. We did 420 entries that year.
Yep.
And it was the start of something really nice. And that also became the start of our relationship with Chuck Gardner, with Brunswick. I mean, we've had great help from not only Brunswick and DV8, but also Chuck and Deb Gardner and the Gardner family. And that's why when Bowl4Life started and they asked, hey, can we bring Bowl4Life along? I said, sure. And then in 2021, I added Bowl4Life to the name of the tournament.
Yep.
And $1 from every entry goes to Bowl4Life. Last year we had 510 entries. They got $510 in donation. So, this is our Sweet 16th. Obviously, we didn't have one in 2020, but last year in Battle Creek, even though being so far away from everybody, we had 510 entries.
Nice.
I was thrilled.
Yeah.
Our record is 601, and again, it was in Michigan, and again, we would have had more entries. However, the Friday morning squad, 2 minutes into practice, the power goes out.
Oh no!
There was a car hit a pole out on the M59, and and 2 substations were affected, and ours happened to be one.
Mm-hmm.
So we waited around an hour. I said, all right, everybody come back at 2 o'clock, because the power company said everything will be back on by 1 o'clock. Well, 10 minutes after the building cleared out, the power came back on. It was like 12:30. Like,
Yep.
But only 10 bowlers opted or couldn't come back because of other obligations. And then we moved the 7 o'clock squad back to 8 o'clock, and we still had over 200 entries that hung around for what became the 2 o'clock squad. and over 170 entries for the last squad, the Friday squad, or that last squad that day, because we did another squad the following day on Saturday, and we had 50. The current schedule, we started that in 2021 because we realized that, hey, bowlers might not have had the chance to hear about the DV8 shootout and wanted to bowl it. And by the time they got there, they couldn't because the last squad had been thrown already. So in 21, we added the squads for after qualifying was over for those who did not make the cut. And I explained it to a fellow tournament director, and he said, hey, we got 3,000 kids are in town for junior gold. 1 in 7 make it. So that's, roughly 500 to 600 kids make it. There's 2,400 kids who don't have anything to do. Survivor is usually sold out. So that's 120 some, and plus the adult junior would still run and other things. I'm just giving kids another option to bowl another event before their flight leaves.
For sure.
And that first year, it worked. Between the two squads on the first Friday, we had over 170 entries. Last year, we had more than 100. And with it being back in Indianapolis this year, I think it's going to work again. So that's the Reader's Digest version of the 16-year history. And I have to thank my wife, Jen, for continuing to let me do it. Obviously, Chuck Gardner, Chuck Pisano for helping promote it as well. Matt Himmelreich, Parker, Doug, and 2 ladies who always help me every year. A friend of mine, Laura Paul from Pittsburgh, and also Mimi Lucy, who helps out with the Youth Bowlers Tour up in Rochester, New York. She's always volunteering her time to help with help things at check-in go smooth. So yeah, that's the first 15 years, and the 16th year here. I'm hoping is going to be the best ever.
Yeah, I definitely hope it's going to be great as well. I noticed that just perusing the flyer between your 6 different squads, there's potentially 800-ish openings for bowlers to get in there. I imagine you probably still have some openings. Are there openings available for all 6 squads right now, or?
So right now, yes, but I can tell you that the second squad on the 13th, the 6 o'clock squad, and the first squad on the 14th, the 10 a.m. squad, those will be the 2 that will probably come close to selling out, if not so. For the I posted on juniorbowling.com on the Facebook page. We have like 40 spots left for the 13th at 6, and we're down to about 20 for the 14th at 10. It's a 46-lane house, Hindle Bowl, and we use 42 lanes, so 14 for each shot. And I'm limiting it to 6 on a pair, simply for making sure everything goes smoothly, because especially on Friday, because I recognize people have a practice squad to get to at like 4 o'clock, and we want to make sure everybody's done by 3.
Right.
Plus, part of it was COVID limits as well from a couple of years ago, and we realized, hey, 6 on a pair is going to work pretty well. Plus, it gives us a little bit of time to get ourselves recharged before we start checking for the later squad. The last 2 squads, the 2 squads on the 21st, those will be what I consider the walk-in squads, where we expect a lot of walk-ins. And also, if anybody's going to be bowling the adult junior out at Indianapolis, Hindle also hosts that. So you can stop by Hindle and you can pay and reserve your spot for the last 2 spots, the 21st. I'm also going to keep online entries for those 2 spots, 2 squads open as well through Thursday morning. So there are still plenty of spots remaining. Just the 13th at 6 p.m., the 14th at 10 a.m., those are going to fill up the fastest.
Okay, great. We had we're live on 3 different platforms: Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Laura Paul checked in on the Facebook saying that she loves to help. So
she provides all the 50-50 tickets. That's why, and she's a tremendous help at check-in too.
Absolutely, and you do a wonderful job. I know my daughter we always loved getting her to bowl the shootout before Junior Gold. It was a great tune-up. It was a great opportunity to, you could try to get a spot for Junior Gold the following year. It's just this, and obviously the ball is a great incentive as well. But just you guys are on such a fantastic event. Every youth out there, if they can, please get to the event and make sure that you support. Obviously, Bowl for Life as well. $1 from each entry going to Bowl for Life. It's all great stuff, and you do a wonderful job, Travis. And just wanted to say that. And also, you're also on here with us tonight to reveal the oil patterns that are going to be used for the Bowl for Life, DV8 Bowl4Life Shootout this year. So in any order you want, please let us know, and we will definitely get that information out there.
All right, a teaser. This is the first of 3 things I'm revealing tonight. I didn't tell you about the other 2. So here's.
Okay. I like it.
Here we go.
Yes. One thing I learned today, the other I learned about 2 weeks ago. So let's go with the short pattern first. If there was a pattern named for Parker Bone, I would use it. There is not yet, but he did win the Cheetah Championship a couple years ago, I think 2015. So that's the first pattern we're going to announce here. The short pattern is going to be Cheetah. We're going to go 35 feet with this. Now, keep in mind, Hindle is a wood center. And Junior Gold does not use wood centers when we're there. So if you've got equipment that's meant for wood lanes, go ahead and use it. So this is going to be 35 feet on a wood lane.
So to be fair, you bowlers that are out there, there's 8 different divisions. So every age range, boys and girls, and you don't have to use the same 5 balls that you checked in for Junior Gold in this tournament, nor the adult junior tournament that Travis talked about. So you can bring additional balls other than those 5 that you use, because like Travis said, Hindle being a wooden center, obviously you're going to see a different amount of friction there. Yeah. So you might want to bring stuff that maybe is a little bit weaker, slower response to the friction.
So that's that Cheetah's the first pattern.
Yeah, absolutely.
For the middle pattern, I got to go back to a story from the PBA Senior Pro-Am in 1993 and 94 that I bowled. We're going to use the Don Johnson pattern for 40 feet.
All right. On the screen for you folks.
The first year that I bowled the Senior Pro-Am, I got paired up with Don Johnson. I remember he threw the original Power Torque, and that was the first time I had seen him bowl in person. I was just infatuated with his style, just the arm swing, because I this is back to the days before you could look on YouTube and see him bowl his 299 in 1970. I had never seen that before. So his style was just amazing to me, and I was kind of embarrassed the first time, because I remember the first 1993 I got paired up with him in the Pro-Am, and I shot 137, and I just felt like, I could have done so much better. Well, the next year I was prepared. Luckily I got paired up with Don again, and I broke 200. And he was very nice to. He bowled both years in the Senior Pro-Am. And he was very nice to everybody. I remember he did a radio interview as well. And I was one of the scorekeepers, and he was one of the great gentlemen that I got to meet. There's so many great memories from those 2 years. In fact, if you go on YouTube, 1993, and I'm surprised it's not mentioned every time somebody comes up with a recap of all the 300s that have been thrown on television. They forget the PBA Senior 300s, because there were 2 thrown on the Senior Tour. Gene Stuss threw one, and then July 1st, 1993 at Stanton Lanes, Ron Winger shot 300.
Ron Winger,
and I had the most important job that night. I had to make sure that the phone didn't ring during the live broadcast, because I was back at the front desk, and I had to answer it within 1 ring so nobody could hear it on the telecast. Right. I did my job.
There you go. That's all that matters.
I have a little bit of slice of PBA history with
awesome.
with my resume.
Right. Back in the day, you could do that.
Just let it sit there.
I'm watching the tournament.
And then the long pattern is going to be Johnny Petraglia.
Yeah. Oh, right. Johnny P. Let's get that up on the screen.
Yeah, let's get the Petraglia pattern up so you can talk about that.
I can't think of a better ambassador for bowling in general, other than Parker, than Johnny. I've had the chance to talk with him as well. Back when 1 year at Parker Bone's event that he holds every Labor Day, I got to get on air and do some commentary, and Johnny and I had a really nice session together, talking when bowlers were around. And he's just not only a wealth of knowledge, but he cares so much about the youth in I believe it's Monmouth County where he lives, and he's he's a fixture at Howell Lanes, and he's always got his Cabernet with him as well. It seems like whenever he's watching kids, and he's a great ambassador to all of us. And one thing I know, and it's not told enough, how good a friend he was with Joe Hutchinson, another former PBA pro who's from Scranton, one of the great characters on the PBA tour of all time. And the two of them fought in Vietnam together.
Oh, wow.
And I love talking to Joe any chance I get. He's been off the tour a good 20 some years. He's still doing well, living up in the Scranton area, and I miss talking with him. But Johnny P, a legend. You mention his name, you don't even have to think of the impact that he's had on our sport. I mean, it's wonderful, and so I'm honoring him. And plus, he's been great friends with Parker all these years as well. So, honoring three great people in our sport, and some personal reasons as well. So, Parker Wichita, Don Johnson, and Johnny Petraglia. Those are the three patterns we're going to use for this year's DV8 Shootout. And my philosophy in general with that is, if the patterns that I put out are the toughest they face the whole time they're at junior gold, then I've done my job, because the whole premise for this is to be a prep for junior gold, to get them ready, to get them in the right mindset, give them the variety of patterns to compete on, and get them ready. And one step further, reason why I still do this is to provide a stage for young people to show their talents. My father was a teacher for 37 years. His stage was a classroom. I've had a variety of careers. I was in radio for 15 years. I still do television freelance. I was a tax accountant for 11 years. Now I'm a financial analyst, and plus, excuse me. And now I'm a daddy to 2-year-old twins. So I've had a variety of careers, and being a bowling tournament director is the one I'm proudest of. So if they come to me and say, "Hey, this is the toughest thing I had to bowl on all week," I've done my job, and I'm happy.
Yeah, well, speaking of the financial side, not only can they showcase their talents there for the youth, but you're giving away a lot of scholarship money. As a matter of fact, I spoke about this before when we lost you. Your flyer says that you're giving away more than $250,000 since 2007 running these events and scholarship money. That's absolutely awesome.
It is.
And, giving back to the youth, giving them the platform to showcase their talents, as well as giving back with the scholarship money that they can actually win for themselves. Absolutely awesome. Great event. They're going to walk away with a brand new DV8 bowling ball. I mean, how can you go wrong? It's a great warm-up. You get a ball, and you got a chance to win. You got a chance to get your puncher ticket to the next year's junior gold. I mean, you have it all right there within a little 6-game tournament.
It's great.
It's absolutely awesome.
Love it.
And we've given away at least $20,000 in scholarships per year. I want to say the last 6 times. The record is 24,000 in 19 when we had 601 entries. Even with entries being down a little bit last year, we still did 21,600. In addition to the tournament, we do scholarship brackets as well. Plus, every bowler is entered into high game. We do high game and then kind of like a winner take all for game 6 as well. If we have enough girls, we separate girls out as well. If we have a big squad, we'll do 2 or 3 prizes. But our tournament is true with any other tournament you bowl. You earn a lot more money with brackets, and brackets are $3 a piece. With 17 for first and 7 for second. You win 10 brackets, that's 170. Right. You add that on top of what the winner could get. The best division last year, U18 boys, I think 2,000 was the top prize. Nice. So you can make a couple $100 in scholarship money here if you've got and brackets are games 2, 4, and 6. So you get kind of a warm up with your first game, and then you change pairs, like the pair right next to you, and you bowl your second game. And it's those games that the brackets count for. High game is every game, but the brackets are games 2, 4, and 6.
Very good, very good. And so again, any of the youth bowlers, please check that out. Go to the juniorbowling.com Facebook page. Check out all the information Travis has there for you. And So we're kind of curious, Travis. You said you have a couple more reveals for us tonight. So what do we got here? Are we thinking like I was personally hoping for maybe a shootout bowling ball reveal. That's kind of my to maybe get that info out. But yeah. I'm going to leave it with you, and you let us know what you have going on.
Well, you want to be a troublemaker, don't you?
Always.
Yeah.
That's your ball.
There it is. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Perfect. Troublemaker. Yeah.
What a wonderful piece of equipment, my friend.
Yeah.
I want to thank Dave Wadka for helping me out tremendously with Brunswick, and also with costs going up so much, still being able to give me a price that I can work with. Thank you very much, Dave, and to everybody at Brunswick. They were nice enough to give me a tour of the plant, the offices. Really, it's not a plant anymore. When Junior Gold was up in Grand Rapids, Muskegon, and Lansing last year, it was very nice of them, and also to Bugsy and Brian and the whole team up there. So the DV8 Troublemaker, that's going to be our ball.
There it is.
And that every bowler who bowls, they're with their first entry, they get one. And there's no option not to get a bowling ball with your first entry. You bowl, you get one.
Yep.
That's the rule. Now you can re-enter and get another ball while supplies last, and there'll be different pricing points for those as well.
Sure.
But yeah, Troublemaker, that's our ball.
That's fantastic. And, obviously I'm really close being on, with staff with Brunswick and everything. And Dave's phenomenal. They're all great people, Bugsy, the whole crew. So I'm not surprised that they worked with you and kind of got you where you needed to be, because what a great piece of equipment to get these youth bowlers' hands at that price point. It's awesome. So well done by everyone on that front.
Yeah,
even
a great ball of choice, because you have a lot of players that are coming up, especially with the boys that are two-handed. This ball being marketed two-handers is great for them. But I got to tell you, we've drilled a bunch of them with thumb in, and this ball performs whether you have a thumb hole or whether you don't have a thumb hole. This ball is a performer. So you kids out there that were on the fence about maybe, do I want to bowl DV8 shootout or not? I think this should push you over the fence.
Absolutely.
One of those troublemakers in your hand at this price point, plus a chance to win scholarship money. It's a win-win-win. You got to do it if you're out there already.
You look at even at the most expensive price, which would be $150 if you walk in and pay with credit card. Some places you're paying more for that for just the Troublemaker.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely.
So this is probably the best deal that you can get involving a Troublemaker. You can re-enter and get another one too.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, we had Courtney McDonough checking in, QDD, saying we can get two Troublemakers.
You bowl twice, you can get two Troublemakers. Yes.
Kid has more than one troublemaker.
That's true. That's right. Well done. That's a huge announcement here to put on the show tonight. Well done.
Great.
Love it.
Now that's great information for all of the youth heading out to Indianapolis.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah. Plus, here's the deal. Bowling at Hindell on wooden lanes is an experience that some bowlers have never experienced before, and it's something you really should. The sound of the ball rolling down on the wood lanes, just the ambiance of it, it's a little bit different experience, and I think it's something that especially today's youth should experience while it's still available.
Absolutely.
Because those wooden lanes, unfortunately all lanes, I hate to see them close, but those wooden lanes are getting farther and fewer between.
Yeah.
So to get that experience of bowling on old school wood, like you and I started.
We grew up on it. Absolutely. I'm sure, Travis, you remember, I'm sure bowled on plenty of wood centers.
Stanton was wood. Imperial Lanes, it's now Strike Time Lanes in a small town in Schuylkill County called Valley View, an 8-lane center that had closed, but Andy Nyer bought it, and his buddy Dave Schley now owns it. I bowled out there for a couple years when I was still in radio. Here's my favorite story from out there. I used to help out. I bowled Tuesday nights out there. It was a full house, 8x5. It only had 8 lanes, and I would help them out in the snack bar, just as a favor. Oh, I guess one time I stepped in some cooking oil, and then I go up and throw my shot. The first game, I stick so bad, my track animal goes out to the half board, comes back and goes jersey and strikes. And then I throw the next 11 for my second 300.
Oh, no way. That's awesome. That's great. Yeah. Well done. That's really cool. Good stuff.
I've also bowled at at Bellefonte Lanes, where Penn State Bowling is at, and thankfully they're staying open. The owner has agreed to repair the roof there. Denny Jaworski manages the center. That's where I shot my first 300. That's a Woodhouse still. Excuse me. I think every house that I've bowled my 300s at since has been synthetic. I bowl out of Colony Park here in New York, and that's where I've had my last 8, including 4 over a 9-week span before the pandemic shut everything down.
Wow.
So, yeah, here in New York County, there's one wood center left. Everybody else is synthetic, but it's a different experience. But Jerry Hindle and Mark Hunt, the general manager, and their staff, they keep the center in spotless condition. They still have. I'm not going to bust on them for saying this. It's nostalgic, but I love it. They still have AS80 scorers, the Brunswick scorers from the 80s. They're perfect. I know how to use them. They're perfect. Don't Jerry, if you're watching, don't get rid of them. Yes.
Right. That's awesome. So, all right. Well, some great information there from Travis Sparks here from juniorbowling.com about the Bowl4Life DV8 Bowl4Life Shootout. The troublemaker will be this year's ball. We have that on the screen right now. We also have on the ticker going across all 3 oil patterns that you will be competing on if you're going out there: the 35-foot Cheater, the 40-foot Johnson, and the 46-foot Petraglia. So, Travis, is there anything else you want to share with us tonight?
Yeah. Congratulations, Matt Ogle, on your first senior title. And guess what? He's making the trip up from Louisville to join us again. So he's going to be our DV8 Pro. And that's a good sign, if you're with us, that you're going to win some titles, because Packy Hanrahan was with us last year and he won his first 2 titles this year. So,
all right.
Matt had won his doubles title with Sean Rash a couple of years ago, and then he won his first singles title this year. So, at least Matt Ogle will be joining us from DV8, signing autographs, helping give out bowling balls as well. And he's from Louisville. It's only a 2-hour drive away, and we welcome him. So, Matt's going to be with us for the first weekend, for Thursday and Friday, at least that much.
Yeah. All right, that's awesome. And Matt had a tremendous season, and like you said, coming obviously is some good karma for the bowlers that go. So well done, and congratulations to Matt and all the kids going out there. You're going to get a great experience, kind of meeting Matt and everything, and that's wonderful. Love it.
Yeah, just another great reason to sign up for
the
DV8 Shootout for sure. And
we've had our fair share of folks who ended up going on to the PBA tour and making some shows. AJ being one of them, AJ Chapman. I mentioned John Sherbinski before. Aaron Lawrence, he made a couple shows back in 2010, 2011, around that area. We've had a lot of bowlers come through. A lot of PWBA competitors as well. Jordan Richard bowled it 1 or 2 years, and she won recently. I remember that. USBC just put on, back in 2010, Marshall Kent and Brittany Hamilton won junior gold. They both bowled this event. Yeah. Maggie Zakshevsky, she won in 2009. She bowled this event. And the year that Jackie Evans from Massachusetts won U18, she also won the girls division. That was the last year that we had just one girls division before we started breaking it up into ages. She won our event and then went out and won junior gold. So this is a great week. It's a nice springboard to what's to come. And if you just happen to not have a good week, then we've got more and more opportunity for you to bowl and maybe win some extra scholarship money afterwards.
Absolutely, for sure. That's wonderful news and all good stuff tonight. It's been super informative. I mean, we got the troublemaker coming out. We got Matt Ogle showing up. We got the 3 oil patterns revealed. Now we just got to get the kids to sign up. Let's break a record this year. Let's do it. Why not? It seems like a great year to break records.
Almost that whole 800 number.
Absolutely.
Let's do it as we got. Yeah.
601 is the record. If we get more than 600, that'll be great. And that means I'm going to have to ship a couple bowling balls afterwards. So
There you go.
So,
My daughter's
yep.
already signed up. So.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep, bowling balls while supplies last. And if it just so happens we run out, then I go down to my friends at Bowler Supply and say, hey, we need you to ship a couple.
Yep, absolutely. So, well, Travis, I don't want to take up too much of your time. We've had a wonderful show with you. It's just flown right by. Thank you so much for joining us. We love getting that information out, and hopefully we can make this a thing going forward. We get you on the show and talk about some good youth bowling stuff that you got coming up, and we would love to have you anytime, my friend.
My schedule is a lot less now that I'm raising, helping to raise beautiful twin daughters. But I do still, besides the DV8 Shootout, I run 2 events a year in Pittsburgh and a couple other events when I can. So be glad to join you once again.
Absolutely. Well, we'll have you on anytime, my friend. Thank you for joining us this evening. And thank you for all the information. And to all you kids going out there, sign up for the shootout, get that information, and get yourself a troublemaker, and you'll meet Matt Ogle and anyone else that might be out there. So thank you, Travis, for joining us tonight. We're going to let you go on that note, and have a wonderful weekend, my friend.
Thank you.
Be well, guys. Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right. That was Travis Sparks from juniorbowling.com, everyone. Thank you so much to Travis for coming on the show. We really appreciate it. And Ding Dong, any final thoughts on that?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's just what he has done for youth bowling. It's pretty awesome. And to have an extra event out there at Junior Gold to kind of warm up for it, or even as a cool down off of it, if you will, if you don't make the cut. Plus, you get a chance at, getting a bowling ball. And, it's relatively inexpensive. The bowling ball and the tournament, plus chance to win money, chance to punch your ticket in the next year's Junior Gold. How can you go wrong, Frankie? You can't.
I agree. Yeah, no, you can't go wrong at all. It's a no-brainer. My daughter did it every time we were out there. You get the experience. You can make some scholarship money. You get the ball. And you have a chance to win your Junior Gold spot. It happened one of the years she was out there. She punched her ticket for Junior Gold the following year. Took all that pressure off her for the next year. Like, just go out and bowl some tournaments. Don't have to worry about, am I going to get a Junior Gold spot or not? You know what? If you bowl well enough at the shootout and you pay that extra to try to do the Junior Gold qualifier, just do it. You do it all while you're there.
Yeah, and I love how you bring up that, because you're not worrying about getting your spot at these other Junior Gold tournaments. Right. You can worry about learning about how to bowl on these different patterns and not have to worry about that spot. That spot is already taken care of, and then you can learn as much as you want or as much as you can before the next year's Junior Gold.
For sure. Oh, I agree. Definitely. So, yeah, that was Travis Sparks from juniorbowling.com. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We really appreciate it. We're just going to sign off here in a couple of minutes. We do want to just you see a couple of bowling balls sitting here. Let's talk a quick minute about some of the new Brands and Brunswick releases coming up.
Yeah, for sure.
We have these are the Radical ones that I will be drilling. This is the Sneak Attack Solid. Definitely a great addition to the arsenal with the Sneak Attack Hybrid that was out before. And this is the Crypto Boom, which is a Pearl. HK22, another HK22 ball.
Very nice ball. Yeah.
Seeing the early results on this one, definitely that more hockey stick motion. I have my Crypto Solid behind you on the rack there. That was a ball that definitely, it's I want to say it's like a symmetric ball, 0.46 differential, I believe, on that. So flares pretty decent amount. A good all around kind of control symmetric piece for you. You need a little bit more pop, it works good for you. It's a little more than something like a Rattler. Obviously, a step down from your big ASIMs, like your Katana Assaults and stuff like that we have in our arsenal.
So like a bigger benchmark type
Right,
of deal.
Yeah, bigger benchmark. If you're a little speed dominant, the Crypto Solid would be great. If you're someone that's kind of a match player, the Crypto Boom Pearl would be a great option for you. Or the Sneak Attack Solid would be a great sport shot type ball, a little lower differential, 0.36 on this one.
Yeah.
So this is a little more even ball. Definitely looking forward to drilling both of these. I'm actually going to be going. I've drilled a lot of pin down stuff lately, so I'm actually going to go with some tall pins on these, a little bit less VAL angle on these, and definitely be a good comparison. This is I want the Sneak Attack Solid to be like, everyone who knows me knows I use a lot of urethanes. All the sport shots we bowl on, I'm on the left side of the lane. This is going to be like what I'm going to try to drill it to be like my super urethane, basically a resin version. I'm going to go with like a 6-inch pin on this, like a 6x25. Drill my Crypto Boom to be like a 5 3/8 by 25. So I get that nice kind of quick response down lane, but did get decent length out of it. So So if I use my crypto and it starts hooking a little early, go right to the boom, bang. Just take right off of it. So
speaking of response down lane, Brands Brunswick also has the DV8 Chill coming out.
The DV8 Chill,
if
yes.
you check out,
yes, absolutely.
Master Splinter's video that he has.
Oh my God, yes, absolutely.
Response down lane with that DV8 Chill.
100%.
We also have coming out the Track Stealth Pearl, which you'll probably see next week or on one of our next segments, because I'm going to be drilling that up. I drill all the track stuff up.
Yes, sir.
And there's also the Brunswick Infinity.
Yeah.
I do believe it's part of this release.
It is, yeah.
Yeah,
That has the QR9 additive as well as the HK22.
Yes, and so that should be a pretty interesting ball. I'm interested to drill that. I think I'm going to drill that to match both of my sensor and my Tundra Fire, so that way we can get a good comparison of the 3 pearls that Track has available in this metric lineup right now. So I'm pretty excited about that as well. The other thing I wanted to talk about was just some high score shout-outs that we had.
Yeah, let's give a few high score shout-outs. What do we got out there?
So first off, I really want to give a shout-out to this youth player. Youth player that's been putting a lot of work into his game, getting lessons, going out there and practicing. He had not only his first 200 ever on a sports shot this past weekend.
Yeah.
But he went out and won his division of the USBC Junior Masters that happened in East Providence, Rhode Island. Colin Robinson.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Yes, Colin. Yeah. Oh, my God. Guy has done a great job with his game. I know that Master Splinter, Jimmy's been working with him some, doing a wonderful job. And Colin really taking to it. And I'll tell you what, his dad can't be more proud. Obviously, anytime we see any of the youth players from around this area, doing a wonderful job. Really cool stuff.
And he won the under 175 handicap division in that tournament. Again, had his first ever 200 on a sports shot. I mean, that's something
awesome.
to be
I
celebrated
love that.
here.
I absolutely love that.
Yeah. So the other couple shout outs I want is Tony, our big boy, Big Tony. Macmillian.
That's right.
Macmillian. First ever 700 series.
First ever 700. That's right. He mentioned that the other day. Well done, Tony.
Yeah,
boy.
That's awesome, dude. So, he's been coming up, getting better and better, knocking on that door a few times.
Yep.
Another person that was knocking on the door that pushed it wide open, Boom Hammer.
Yeah, Andrew
Boom Hammer. And, on the sports shot again on our Tuesday night 3v3 league.
Yep.
He shot like 722.
I know he killed it.
Yeah, first ever 700 series. That's pretty amazing.
I'm so pumped for him. One of our boys.
Boom,
love Boom Hammer. He's great. So
love those guys. Boom, Sauce Boss, Nesquik. Love you
guys
for sure.
Really cool. So
that's great stuff. Other thing that I want to give a shout out to is you guys, Frankie and Ding Dong Land. A lot of you guys supported this. Thank you so much. Maine Junior Gold. We just had a ball raffle fundraiser in order to support them. All the Maine Junior Gold participants that punched their ticket to this year's Maine Junior Gold, and we drew the winner. Jim Cole was the winner.
Yeah, congratulations to Jim. That's really good.
Jim just so happens to be Jeff's dad. Jeff is Anthony Cole's dad. We know Ant Cole,
one of your youth players
from the Bayside High Rollers, and Jim's going to end up giving Ant the ball. And
that's awesome.
I think Ant's picking out a mindset.
Mindset's a
he
good
was
choice
thinking about a pert daddy, but I think he's going to go with the mindset.
Mindset's a good choice.
He's pretty
speed dominant.
That's a huge backswing. So I think he's going to like that piece. And,
I agree.
Thank you to all of you guys that supported. You guys know that we'll have more ball raffles for our Bayside High Rollers and for our youth. We have some pretty exciting stuff potentially on the youth front as far as youth league in Portland even.
Yeah, for sure.
Coming up for next year. And of course, Bayside High Rollers will be back. Frankie and Ding Dong, we already have our series set for next year. So next year is going to be a big year of bowling. But before we even get there, we have stuff like Junior Gold. We have the missed match play.
Yes.
We have all sorts of good shit. We have the TLC coming up
in September. So, we
and
got a lot of stuff.
Before that, even we have this weekend's DJBT
Bayside Bowl Sunday. It's a sold out event. There's a waiting list for the tournament, but I always tell people on the waiting list show up anyways because you never know if people don't show up day of the event. Show up, you might be able to bowl. So it should be a lot of fun. Definitely, you and I are both bowling that event. Your daughter's bowling that event. So it should be a really good time.
Give a shout out to Jeff Purchase. He does a great job with that DJBT. Him and his team.
Yeah, they do a great job. Yeah, for sure. I want to give a shout out to Jeff Barden, owner at Yankee Lanes, Manchester, who they just hosted the PBA East Regional up there. It was a wonderful event. I was there bowling. Actually got to make the cut, which was phenomenal. So,
wait. Frankie didn't make the cut. He was fucking like 15, 16, tied for 15th or something.
Yeah, he took
crazy like that.
27 in. And,
so he did more than make the cut. He fucking blew open the cut.
Yeah, so Nate Purchase and I kind of joked because he said that he's like, this year he's like, I don't know, 5 or 6 on regionals making cuts. And I said, well, I'm 1 for 1, so my percentage is better. So just saying,
Ooh, Nate, shimmy to that, baby.
Yeah, we love Nate. He's one of our guys. We love Nate a lot.
We'll see Nate this weekend, actually.
But they did a wonderful job. Just wanted to give them a shout out this weekend to the center. Had some great talent in the field. Congrats to Alex Cavanaro, who won the tournament. We had Butcher from the field. We had Nair in the field. Great. Just phenomenal players. Aaron Major, you name it. You go down the laundry list of great players. Pants was there. Fury, Tim Foy. It's just on and on and on and on. And so it was a great event. I just felt honored to be able to make the cut in that event with this great field. So it was a lot of fun. Viper 37 pattern. It was definitely was interesting as the day went on playing on that pattern. My look got way better as the day got on with the urethane. So on the fresh, I was a little bit kind of slow out of the gate, but then once the shot developed, it was awesome. So. But yeah, so the funny thing is you'll see me doing ball reviews on something not a purple hammer. So that'll be kind of fun for people to see me kind of circle in the lane a little bit. So
yes, they're only for the reviews or league though. They're not for tournament time.
Well, this one might get some play Sunday. Are we?
Do you want me to put a purple hammer sticker on it?
Now, without naming names, some tournaments don't allow you to use balls that aren't released yet. And I don't know if the DJBT, I'll have to ask Jeff, allows you to use balls that are not released yet. Okay, well, there we go. That answers our question. So they're cool. So that works. I was just throwing it out there. So Frankie and Ding Dong Land, you can use whatever you want in our tournaments. We don't really care. But yeah, so thank you to Jeff Barton and his staff at Yankee Lanes Manchester. Just circling back to that real quick. It was a fun event. I believe they're going to have the regional on the schedule again next year, which is fantastic. It's only a couple hours drive. Anyone in this area, if you didn't get in, do it. It's worth it. It's $300 or so, but you know what? I made money for the weekend. And it's a great experience. You're bowling against the best in the region and beyond. We had Butcher coming from like Las Vegas, from crying out loud, to bowl the tournament. So it's a great experience. If you want to take the game to the next level, if you've been bowling some sport tournament stuff and you want to see kind of where you stack up on that next level, it's a great chance to do that.
I think this is a winning thing for the PBA, Frankie, because not only does the PBA need to find extra sources of income, because it's not like a whole year season or by any means, only a few months long. So I think this is definitely a winner because it keeps your guys active in their local region. They can bowl these. Plus, any bowler can go out and bowl it. And let's face it, it's a winner. Your local tournament player has a chance to go out and stack themselves up against some of the best players in the region, and you get a 1 in 3 payout.
1 in 3 is great.
1 in 3 people are going to be able to say, I made a check in a PBA event.
Absolutely.
Now that is a great selling point to all of you guys.
There's nothing better than cashing a check from Bolero that says PBA Bolero on it. Believe me, it is awesome.
Absolutely.
It's a great feeling.
And so I think that's a winner because you guys out there, you have a chance, a 1 in 3 chance of cashing a PBA check.
Our tournaments that we run, usually a 1 in 4 payout is what we usually do in that range. So, which is a good payout. A lot of tournaments do 1 in 6, 1 in 8, whatever. But 1 in 3 is great, so it does give you the exposure. It gives you a better chance to maybe make a little money. You have to earn it the next day because there's advances rounds and all that stuff. You bowl a bunch of games the second day as well if you advance. So, you're definitely earning it. It's an 8-game block on the first day to make the cut, and then you bowl in a bunch of games the next day. But it's a great time, and I can't say enough about what they did in Manchester to get that event there and to host it. And maybe that leads to more good things. I know we had a regional in East Providence the year before, so maybe we can get some regionals in this area and be truly like a Northeast regional type area. Maybe we can get some more New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Vermont, whatever, and maybe actually get some more, and not just in that Pennsylvania, New York region. Bring some more to this area. especially if it's, we got 80, I think it was 83 bowlers for this event. That's not bad for the first time, right? So I think it sells out at 128 or something like that. So you know what? I think we're going to get close to that number next year. We'll probably bring back a pretty strong field again. So
yeah, and I mean, you guys out there know that we have the skilled bowlers here in the Northeast,
Absolutely.
and you guys are getting more and more skilled by bowling stuff like
all
our
the stuff we put out is all tough all the time.
So, and the entry fee is a little bit higher, but that's how they're able to do the 1 and 3.
Right, absolutely.
Right. But again, so you pay a little bit extra, but you have that chance of saying, "Hey, I went to a PBA regional event and I made a check."
For sure, absolutely,
that's cool. Yeah. I'll tell you right now, like Frankie said, you'll work for it. You might not work for it as hard as you would in a FDDS event, but they're going to make them tough,
right?
But playable. If
tough but fair.
If you figure it out, you're going to be able to score. If you're spraying and praying, you might have a long day.
You're gonna have a long day, no matter what it is, and any of those events. I mean, it's amazing to see. Like I bowled with El Nino on Saturday, and to watch how he was able to transition and struggle in one game, and then these guys make not just a move, but they make a big move, and then they commit, and all of a sudden, like Sunday, El Nino bang shoots a 300 game, right? Just pops it right off. These guys know the moves, and they know when to make them 3 or 4 frames ahead of the weekend warriors like myself, right? Yeah. So by the time I made it, I was just battling back to jump back up 3 or 4 spots. I mean, El Nino's like, I'm gonna go from like 6 all the way to like top 4. I'm gonna make the step ladder finals, and that's why these guys are the best in the world. You watch them and you're like, it is incredible to watch the commitment they make to big moves on the lane. And can make it work. It's pretty incredible.
Well, and we talked about it before, like how experience is key, and bowling these tournaments gets you more experience. Stuff like that, even for a seasoned veteran like you, Frankie, watching them make these big moves and actually commit to them, that's experience. That's like, maybe it might give you the confidence next time you need to get out of urethane to make the 15, 20 board jump to the right into a big ball, that's a resin ball, just because you've seen it done successfully.
Right.
And you have the confidence in your game. You might actually feel it, and rather than second guess yourself, say, fuck it, let's do it. Yeah. Commit to it, and it might turn out,
it was close. I was close to making that move on Sunday, to be honest. But so like when I bowled the practice session Friday night, used a bunch of urethane, tried some resin balls, eliminated some resin balls that didn't look great. And then I brought the Ebonite 1 remix with me. Big asymmetric ball. But I said, you know what? Let's try to make a huge move in. I was practicing on a pair with Jalen Scott Jones and Aaron Major. Wanted to bowl with some lefties and see what the transition was like when we were bowling 2-hour practice session. You can literally bowl probably 15 games.
Jalen's got like the slowest ball speed.
Oh yeah, it's only like 28 miles an hour. And of course he's using urethane and stuff, pushing it. So impressive. And I made a huge move in practice and just jumped way right. I went from like standing 15 to standing like 32. And like targeting like 16, a little bit of loft and swinging it to about 7-8, threw like 3 in a row. And I'll never forget, Jalen comes over and he goes and grabs the ball out of his bag and he goes, I need to try getting in there with resin. Like I didn't. So like, it was awesome because like he sees something I'm doing and it looked good in practice. Hey, I want to try that. Right. So I didn't think that, had I had a little bit more confidence in making that move in the tournament, it's so hard when you're so close and you're hitting the pocket a lot. And you're like, probably should have tried that at least once on Sunday. But again, that's that whole thing, right? If I was El Nino, I probably would have just made that move and been like, I know this is the time to get out of urethane and make that massive move in and
underlay.
Right. So, I mean, it's great, and it's good to see that. And so like, again, when you're in that situation again, you build off of that, right? And just watching these guys who are the best in the region do what they do. And watching Alex bowl, and he throws it so good, and he's thrown it so good for so long. Watching him and he never got out of urethane. I don't think he was in a fast pitch, I believe, and just throw strike after strike.
Yeah, he's got that super roller.
Super good release, yeah.
Super roller.
Yeah. Hey, Big Tony coming in. Good stuff tonight, fellas. Hope you saw your shout out we gave you for your 700
big 700 set for 700
awesome.
ever.
So
huge accomplishment.
Yeah. So, anyways, I mean, we're gonna wrap up the show, but just kind of wanted to get that little shout out there as well. And you know what? I'm going to be getting these babies drilled up, maybe even this weekend. Now, maybe I'll get them on the lanes for the tournament on Sunday. We'll take a little bit of video or something. And, before I drill these, I'm going to get some new coordinates for myself, my new axis point, my tilt, my rotation, all that stuff, all super important stuff to check that on your game. When you come into the pro shop with us at Bowl4Life Pro Shop, If you haven't had that stuff checked in a long time, we can get you on the lanes and we'll double check that stuff for you. The grip's important, but it's also good. It's always good to get all that information as much as you can to accurately get a ball drilled that's going to work as well for you as possible.
Yeah, because your pap can move around a little bit. It's probably not as
I check it.
as your grip.
I check it usually twice a year, just myself personally. But it's been since mid last season, so it's probably been 7 or 8 months at least since I checked it. And we're going to be drilling some new stuff with summer, the new season coming up. I want some stuff to be pretty accurate. You know what I mean? Going forward for people. So.
Yeah. And, as your body changes, you might lose flexibility, stuff like that. Yep. Your ball roll can change as well.
Change a lot.
And your grip can definitely change. So Frankie kind of alluded to that as well, especially as we get older. As you're young, obviously you grow quick. You're going to check your grip.
Right.
When you're in your 20s, 30s, it doesn't, depending on what your occupation is, obviously. If you go from, sitting in a classroom all day as a youngster to working with your hands in your 20s and 30s, it might change quite a bit. But, for most of us in our 20s and our 30s, we're going to see the least amount of change.
Right.
Once we get over that, though, you start to lose flexibility quite a bit.
50s,
It's almost just as important to at least give it a look. Because at Bowler Builders Pro Shop, we want you to be comfortable because we want to keep you in the game.
Yeah, as long as possible.
Yeah, so we don't want you to injure yourself just because your body is changing. We can work with you.
Absolutely.
We can work with
100%.
every hand out there and everybody. We have the knowledge and we have the tools. We've done it all. We've messed up before. We've had plenty of successes.
Absolutely.
And we use all that information to try to make you a better bowler. Bowler Builders.
That's it. That's what it's all about. And, so like talking about grips and making sure things are good. Obviously, I've been dealing with a broken pinky, non-bowling related injury. It just, I fell on the ice at the end of winter and broke it and snapped it back.
Because we live in Maine.
That's right. So, but grip wise, just to show when you get your grip really good, my grip's in a good spot right now. Bowled that for that regional, bowled that practice session. I guarantee I probably bowled 16 games Friday night. I mean, it was just for 2 hours, like 2 or 3 guys on a pair. You could just throw a shot and tried a bunch of different things. Bowled that Friday night. Bowled practice on Saturday before we started. 8 games of bowling. Bowled another practice on Sunday and another 4-game advance around. All those games, I only had to put 1 piece of tape in 1 ball over all those games the whole weekend.
Not only that, but how much new skin did you use, right?
0. None.
0 new skin.
No, none. I don't even keep any in my toolkit.
Yeah.
I don't need it. My grip's good. I mean, again, nothing hurt. The only thing that hurt was my pinky, and that's a non-bowling related injury. It's just dealing with it.
And that comes from experience because we've been there. Back in the day, you used to change your grip to manipulate ball roll and such and whatnot. And nowadays, you have so many different bowl balls out there. You can adjust surfaces. You can adjust drillings. You don't really need to drill to get a certain ball reaction.
Right.
What you need to do is drill it so that way it's comfortable. It's not going to injure your hand because you use your hand for everything.
Right.
Most of us use our dominant hand to bowl with. So guess what? You're writing everything with that same hand. You're doing everything with that hand. So what you need to do is you need to protect that. Sure, you have another hand, but if it's not as dominant, you want to protect your dominant hand by getting a comfortable, safe grip. No more longer of the days where you got all this forward pitch, stretch, reverse. If you are still doing that, come in and see us. Me holding my hand like that without a bowling ball in my hand, I can feel the pressure.
Yeah, absolutely.
All we need to do is just relax your hand a little bit. You'll be able to roll it a lot more. Your rev rate will actually go up. Your pin carry will go up. And guess what? Your comfort will go up too. You'll be able to roll more than just your 3-game league night and then have your hand in an ice bucket. You'll be able to bowl all weekend long like Frankie did this past
Absolutely. I bowled all weekend long, and I got done Sunday, and I was just mad that I had to stop bowling because I didn't make it past that first advance round. I could still bowl all day if I needed to. So that's kind of what it's all about. And this is coming from someone who's had many hand and wrist surgeries. So, if I can do it, you can do it for sure. So just a good tip there for everyone. Get your grip checked if it's been a long time.
And your grip is going to be different. No matter who you are, your grip is going to be different. As long as it fits you properly, then that's all that matters.
Sorry, I'm playing with the HK22. That's the sound of that doesn't feel like a urethane ball. Hold on. I love you, baby. I gotta get put my hand on my purple hammer again.
Purple.
Yeah.
You know,
but
speaking,
I love my.
if
I love my
anyone's
resin
seen
stuff.
my purple hammer,
Yeah, if anyone's seen, Ding Dong seems to have lost his purple pin purple again.
so I drill it. We bowl a tournament and win it.
Wait a minute. I was telling you to drill one for how long?
Yeah, okay, I waited. But
You
I
waited,
finally
then we
drilled
win.
it. Then we win, and I lose it.
Then you
I
lose it
find it
again
right before
bowl
another
the 8K,
tournament.
right?
Bowl the 8K with it,
Yeah.
and now I can't find it.
Now you can't find it again. So maybe you'll find it right before Sunday's tournament.
I don't know. That ball literally only has tournament games on it. I haven't been able to practice with it because I don't know where the fuck it is.
Listen, I checked my 1,500 purples. It's not here.
Yeah,
I checked them all. None of them are drilled for
I
a
thought
righty.
it was in the pro
I mean,
shop
if it's
inside.
yours, I can see the insert sticking out like this.
Yeah.
You
So
know,
if you find one with the insert
It's
sticking
sticking-
out about like that,
Yeah.
and the middle finger especially.
Yeah, it looks like a mountain slope.
Yeah,
That's Ding Dong from
that's
his
my
reverse.
purple.
But yeah, so anyways, hopefully we find it before Sunday's tournament. So thank you everyone for tuning in tonight. We're going to be Sunday at the DJBT. So if you're at Bayside on Sunday, if you're not bowling, come check it out. We can hang out with you guys. We'll talk some shop with you or whatever after the tournament's over, and have a good time. Watch the bowling, get some food down there at Bayside Bowl. Maybe if the sun's out, go on the rooftop. You know, so
absolutely.
let's hit it and have a great. Let's see what does he say? Tony says I wouldn't hold out too much for the purple hammer or the Credence tapes.
right. Or the Credence.
Right. So hey, but I will definitely have a few purples with me on Sunday, and hopefully I'll have these two bad boys in my bag as well. I'll get them drilled up for Sunday's tournament. So
yeah.
We'll surprise people and see if Frankie uses resin. Show up Sunday and see if Frankie uses resin. That might be the biggest question of the weekend. So
right.
So anyways, yeah. Dave says Frankie Stubby's urethane 0. That's
0.
accurate. So, unless we're bowling a house shot league, I didn't use a urethane all season on Wednesday night because it's a house shot. You don't need to use it.
Right. There's already
You're
plenty
ruining
of hook
the
out there.
Right. You're ruining the pack. So.
Yeah, I don't need early hook because there's early hook
right.
outside the 10.
Outside of 10, there's all the hooks. So don't worry about that. So all right. So we're gonna cut it off. We're over an hour, guys. We had a great time with you on our 2-part show tonight. Thank you to Sean Rash earlier tonight, talking about the September 21st Bowl with the Pros event at Spare Time Recreation in Hollowell, Maine. Also, thank you to Travis Sparks coming on for our second half of the show tonight from juniorbowling.com, talking about the DV8 Bowl4Life Shootout. Made all the announcements for that. You get your 3 oil patterns, your Cheetah, your Johnson, your Petraglia. DV8 Troublemakers, the ball. What a great choice this year. Everyone should take advantage of that. And also let us know Matt Ogle is going to be at the event, signing autographs, taking pictures, hugging wives, kissing babies, whatever they needs to do. Or reverse that order, hugging babies, either one. Hey, find out. Go there and find out. So,
babies' wives?
Right. So, thank you everyone for tuning in tonight. We're definitely going to try to get another show in next week. I might be on the road, but we might do a little. We're going to try to get some of the coaches. Obviously, Sean revealed Wes Malotte's going to be one of the coaches, and Marshall Kent so far. And we're going to try to get those guys on our show, which will be great. So definitely talking about that event and the event at Bayside Bowl with the PBA League coming here in September. So
cool. As you guys know, our schedule is a little bit different during the summer sometimes, but keep an eye out on the Frankie and Ding Dong pages, and you will never be left in the loop.
Never be left out of the loop. Make sure you put notifications on for anything that we put out there. I will be putting out information. I have the oil pattern selected for the missed match play on July 23rd. Entries for that will open up here in a couple of weeks. I don't want to make it more than a month out because you get too many people that sign up and forget and drop out and stuff like that. So look for that announcement. The oil pattern will go up soon. It is selected. It's ready to go. It's going to be awesome. And that's all we have for tonight. So we'll see you guys if you're at Bayside on Sunday for the DJBT. If not, we'll see you on the lane sometime this summer, or we'll just see you on our Fridays with Frankie show. Thank you everyone for tuning in. We really appreciate it.
Pop in our page anytime, guys.
Absolutely. Sure. We love having you guys on there. And as King Ding Dong always says,
get those kids in the center.
All right.